The topic that actually we are going to talk about is important for both the prelim and also for the mains perspective, particularly the GS3 paper. The topic is related to the electricity and energy generation in India. So recently, International Energy Agency, that itself is a very important institution when it's come to the prelim exams. So as actually it releases many important reports like World Energy Outlook report, World Energy Investment Report, and such other reports are being released by the International Energy Agency. So it has actually talked about insight into India's energy future with report called Electricity 2024. So this can be important and this can come to your prelim exam. The report Electricity 2024 is released by which institution? So student must have look on it, right? So we understand that Electricity 2024 report. So, as per this Electricity 2024, International Energy Agency actually says that India will outpace China when it's come to electricity demand in India, right? So, right now, China is the world largest electricity consumer country in the world, and thereafter we are also on the same track. So this says that India annual average electricity demand growth is pegged 6.5% over 2024 to 2026. So this is the robust expansion will make additional electricity demand next 3 year almost equivalent to the UK total energy demand. So you remember this also signifies that the increasing pace of industrialization, urbanization in India, that is also itself a good, but at the same time meeting the growing demand of electricity can be a challenge for a country like India because still our dependence on the fossil fuel is very high, it is more than 70%. So let's understand some of the other important finding of this report. So as just we have discussed about that, still a major portion of India's electricity is being generated from the coal, that's called fossil fuel, and that is one of the most important contributor to the greenhouse gas emissions. Coal dominance is continue. What does it mean? That it's actually signify that the still the dependence of India on the coal for the electricity generation is very much high. It is almost crossing 70%. So it also say electricity needs in 2026 as per the International Energy Agency. It says that while lower than the coal 74% share in 2023, this highlights its continued dominance despite renewable growth. As we understand, the India is focusing on the renewable energy sources. Like we had a green hydrogen mission. Beside that, we have a solar India mission, and at the same time, we have also the government is also focusing on the wind energy. Right? Though the contribution of the renewable energy has increased, but still it doesn't match the coal. Secondly, it also talk about renewable generation. So we understand generation of renewable energy remained relatively stable, that is 21% share of electricity generation in 2023. So we understand in 2023 renewable energy contribute 23% to India electricity generation. So if we see that, see wind from where it comes 9.2%, hydro 6.2%, solar 2.8%, biomass 1.3%, and geothermal 0.4%. So close to 21 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity was actually added in the year 2023. So renewable energy now accounting for nearly 44% of total installed capacity in the year 2023. So that is also a growth. So it also actually talk mention about nuclear and the hydro push. Okay, alongside the wind and the solar power addition to the India electricity installed capacity, government is also emphasizing on the nuclear and the hydropower push. So in that context, India actually currently has 23 operable nuclear reactors that actually contribute near around 2% of the country electricity, and 11.5 gigawatts of installed private hydro project were transferred to the public sector by the ministry. So that comes from the very important scheme that's called Prime Minister Kusum Yojana. Fourthly, it also emphasizes and talk about global comparison and emerging economy, right? So basically, we see that China holds the largest volume of the expected growth while India's electricity demand in the 3 years might nearly be equivalent to the United Kingdom. So this is actually highlighting the growth in the electricity and also the demand of electricity consumption in India because of the urbanization and also the industrialization. We are also actually seeing rapid industrialization is taking place in India. We have a Make in India. So these all initiatives and require electricity consumption. So that is also a good, but at the same time it is also a challenge because still we largely depend on imported crude oil that we actually import from the Gulf country and other countries. So heavy reliance on these for the long term, it cannot be good. At the same time, about 85% of the new electricity capacity is expected from emerging economy, particularly in South Asia, with China and India in the lead. So this is also a very important observation. And fifth, we talk about net zero balancing act. So when it's come to the carbon neutrality by the 2070 and the present state of electricity generation that largely come from the coal sector, the thermal power plant sector. So that's not good because we need to actually emphasize and increase the contribution from the renewable energy sector to our electricity sector so that we could be able to actually reduce the reliance on thermal power plants. That is also one of the important source of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. So it says that even as India pushes clean energy to achieve the 2070 net zero target, rising electricity needs means coal will remain the indispensable in the medium term. So this report also says that though India is working on achieving the net zero by 2070, but still the coal will remain the indispensable for its electricity generation. This report also talk about generation of electricity from the renewable sources, and in that we have small modular reactor technology. So basically these are the small nuclear technology that largely involved in the electricity generation. We understand electricity generated from the nuclear sources are actually clean but expensive. So we have a small modular reactor technology. So these will be the small modular reactor that will actually help, that will be quite helpful in its come to generation of electricity from the renewable sources. So electricity is one of the most important need when it's come to growth and development in India. But at the same time, we should also take care about the climate neutrality by the 2070. So and for that government must actually focuses on generation of electricity from the renewable sources, and therefore adopting technology, green financing, and at the same time other resources that comes from the non-renewable sources must be emphasized. So this is all about the International Energy Agency report and insight about India's electricity 2024. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. For such important and relevant content, you can join our channel Sanation IS. Thank you.